Satish Kumar. BTM Satish Kumar. He is an electric engineer by education and working with wind turbine company as a deputy director, quality and research. He has been in Toastmasters since 2011, served in all the 7 ESCOM roles, served as a finance manager, division K president, distinguished division director. He has completed 2 distinguished Toastmasters, one in traditional, other one in third. And he is also a district 120 evaluation contest finalist. He is the first runner in table topics and division. I welcome our second panelist, Ashok, Toastmaster Ashok. He is working for IT services company as a delivery manager, and he has been Toastmaster since 2011. He was a charter member of Cognizant, later part of Chennai Communicators Club, now a part of Meraki. He has been in Meraki since 2007. So, my first question to both of you is that, as the timer mentioned, the evaluation is for 3 minutes. So do you think 3 minutes makes a difference? The speaker comes and delivers a speech and then you go ahead and give the review for 3 minutes. Does it actually make a difference from the perspective? We have been in Toastmasters since 2011. Do you have any specific instances where the feedback that you give actually help the speaker improve from the speech? Satish, I will take that.
Okay, so Toastmasters have this timeline of 2 to 3 minutes. Again, the feedbacks has to be concise and precise. When you have many times when I deliver evaluation at the club level, I see that even I don't get my improvement started at even the red. There are times where we used to call red card evaluators in Delhi. It goes to go on and on, don't care about timer cards. But after a few evaluations, after a few speeches, started realizing it that attention of a human being doesn't go more than 30-40 seconds in a span of 5-10 minutes. When we go and deep dive into the logic behind why it is about 2 to 3 minutes, so it's more about how fast, how swiftly we can pass on the learning. So the 3 minutes has beautifully started with a minute for a positives what we observed in the speakers, a minute for a room for improvement. Obviously, even the ballot in the evaluation says if you can't summarize, the total ballot is lost. If I take an example for me, when I ask someone how they change somebody, right? In one of the area contests 2 years back, I was evaluating the test speaker. We call them the test speaker rather than not speaker. And there were some kind of, it's again an online contest. So he delivered a speech and I was doing evaluation. I was about the 6th evaluator out of 8 of them. One of the, this is more about a story like somebody, a common man, go to a bank and show him the kind of a mole in a thigh, kind of a, it's a kind of WhatsApp forward story. You know, we were all thinking about how can I give this concise feedback to him on a body language. So I tried to correlate an incident where he was telling every day the bank manager comes and stands on the entrance of the bank and observe this guy, comes and goes every day. So I enacted him, how can he stand himself on a posture where it can be rememberable. I just told him you can just stay like this, showing them. So the speaker called me back and he said when he tried to do the repeat of a speech, he had that in mind when he wanted to deliver it again. You know, so making a quick impression within the span of 3 months for me is think best one to do rather than going for hours together giving a feedback.
Just to add what Satish said, we call that as evaluation speech contest. It is not an evaluation contest, it's an evaluation speech contest, which means the evaluation also has a structure and like a strong opening and body and conclusion. Like Satish said, if you don't capture the attention of the speaker and the audience in the first 30 seconds, you have lost the audience. That's what we call as primacy and recency, right? The first 30 minutes is primacy, the last 30 minutes is recency. So your speaker will only remember what you said in the first 30 seconds and in the last 30 seconds. And that is why we structure all evaluations with the commentations in the first, and the last 30 seconds will mostly be summarizing what we said. Like it will also include recommendations. So we should get to the recommendations as quickly as possible. So we get to capture the attention of the speaker, so that he has some takeaway value from that evaluation, and he will be able to incorporate that in the next speech.
So we have covered aspects of both contest and club. This question was more geared towards the club perspective.
Yeah.
And when I had a word with Kashu, he brought in a very unique perspective that why are you restricting evaluation to that 3 minutes? So I feel that maybe we can try to understand as advanced club what their key does in addition to this 3 minutes of evaluation to make it a more fruitful exercise for us.
Yeah.
So, I go with Ashok first and then.
Yeah. See, one thing that we generally do in Toastmasters is evaluation is not something that the evaluator delivers. Every member can deliver, can provide his or her own evaluation on the speaker. Say, for example, today Chalakan delivered speech, right? It is not just that Hema will give the evaluation. All of us have a role to play in Chalakan's improvement, and we can tell Chalakanan outside of the normal setup. So in Meraki, what we do is we extend the meeting into breakfast also. So though the meeting ends at 9 a.m., we go and then have breakfast, and lot of feedback gets exchanged in that informal conversation. So that is one good thing that we are doing in Meraki. And during the time of pandemic, right, we missed that opportunity. Because pandemic was all online meetings, we were not allowed to come in person and meet. So we converted that to a Mentimeter kind of feedback, where we open a Mentimeter after the speech, and all of us can provide feedback. All the members, all the audience can provide feedback, and at the end you will get, the Menti will throw a word cloud of the feedback. So that way you get the feedback from all the members, not restricted to the evaluator.
Thank you, Ashok. So that was about as a round robin evaluation or feedback from members. There are very prominent one when we started back in 2017. One of the very important and still sought after topic we do was master evaluation. So we thought evaluators had the time pressure. Evaluator has to give a feedback, value add everything. But why don't we have somebody monitor the evaluators, giving feedback to the evaluators what went wrong, what is the area for improvement. The second one is even they miss to capture something what the speaker has exponentially done well, or he has been blend with something where we could have pointed out. So number one, master evaluation. Until today, when we have more than 2 evaluators, we make it a point in Meraki agenda, we have master evaluation. After this master evaluation round robin, we also had this, the question of what is new, and the quest for getting the real feedback rather than whitewashing or sandwich everything. That's when we thought, why not we have a devil's advocate. So that's the time we introduced about few years back, devil's advocate. So we all know that time used to be the time where it was about 17 out of 20 of them are distinguished Toastmasters. We said, enough of pricing me, give me clearly something onto my face. So devil's advocate is something, we have a speech evaluator. Devil's advocate comes and talks only about how the speech would have been better. Nothing more, nothing less. How the speech would have been better, how we can improvise this. That's when this, we tried on and off, master evaluation, devil's advocate, these two things played a vital role. Also, one more thing very common we normally use, and even I practice in Gavel as well, is about a panel evaluation, not this panel evaluation. We have somebody talk about the content, somebody talk about the delivery, somebody talk about their relevance to the manual. Real time does the relevance to the manual. So this makes sure that we all have this separate segments to capture individual element of it. And finally, we give an overall wholesome experience for members, not only on those 15 minutes of context.
That's extremely good practice which I came to know talking to them. And also one more thing that basically works is, I'm talking about club level evaluation, not the contest, because as Karthik rightly mentioned, contest we usually know what they're going to talk about. But in the club level evaluation, we already have an idea of what speech they're going to deliver and whether it is something in the manual. Of course, I know we have mentors. But to what extent you feel an evaluator should reach out, right, and ask specific questions
Absolutely.
to the speakers. So can there be a value add from that perspective?
Absolutely.
Satish, and then Ashok.
Okay. So this brings me my memory back to 5-7 years back. We used to have a lot of senior Toastmasters in my previous club of Meraki. Senior in the sense they were both in their professional life, in their personal life, also in Toastmasters. So there is always a challenge of how do I evaluate the senior Toastmasters, because it should not be offended. Though we had the initial requirement of getting the inputs, talk to the members and identify what should be the thing, what you want us to mention about it. Because they are also, either side they'll be happy when they say something positive about it. The other side they'll not be happy when there is something to be improved. Even there are times in Medley we used to say speakers that go back, prepare, come back and re-deliver. There used to be time where we used to have this kind of conversations. So connecting with the speaker, understanding what is their level of acceptance, because it's not possible in contest. Why do they say, even we go until the international president of Toastmasters International, again we say next Monday come back to your club. Because club is where everything starts and ends. So in club we have opportunity to talk to the members, identify their level of acceptance, because there is no harm in understanding what is acceptance for them and generally going and giving a feedback, as you asked in the first question, how it is going to make sense. If it doesn't make sense for the speaker, leave alone the other members. If it doesn't make sense for the speaker, I don't think it is going to add a value. So I would prefer always, even in today's speeches, when we have a club level speeches, at least I'll text a speaker to find out whether do you have anything specific to address today.
Yes, every speaker is unique, right? And some speakers will have a special need to check for something. For example, if someone has a lot of past or if they are not. So some speakers will have a specific need. So as an evaluator, if you can come into the meeting 10 minutes early, go talk to the speaker. If you are an evaluator, right, go to talk to your speaker and ask if there is anything that you need to watch out for. That would actually make the person feel special. And also you will have a sense of satisfaction that you are delivering some value to the speaker. That's my take on preparing for the evaluation. In Meraki, what we do is, especially in pathways, right, there is one project where we deliver speech and then we take feedback and then we incorporate that and then we re-deliver the speech. There is one structure like that. So the other day I was amazed when Satish said, I have already seen, though I was not present in the previous first speech, but I have seen your YouTube video, because we upload all the videos to YouTube. I have seen your speech and I have also read your previous speaker evaluator's feedback. Now I am going to watch for it and see whether you have corrected it. That makes the person feel okay. Someone is taking real care to make me improve. So that is something that I love in Toastmasters.
This is a really good insight. Right? So definitely what happens is evaluators are. It's a very beautiful point that you brought up, because I feel as evaluators we should also, because sometimes when I started delivering speeches, it's like add humor. If I know how to add humor, I would have. So I feel that the evaluations basically have to be, as Karthik said, my Vijay is one of my favorite evaluators, specific, immediate, and positive, and personal to that particular speech. So, but that brings me to the challenge of this positive, because any feedback that we receive basically pushes us out of our comfort zone. So now there is a difference between criticism and advice. Now I have to have some credibility to give advice so that they accept my criticism. Correct. So how do we actually handle the advice part of it, the criticism part of it, when we are giving a club level evaluation? I'll come to the contest in the next question. Satish.
Okay, so here the basic, the thumb rule of evaluation itself, before even you go into advice and criticism, the basic thumb rule of evaluation itself, what me as an evaluator felt, saw and heard. Period. It is not about how everybody felt, it is not about how the speaker felt, it is not about the other audience felt. For me, how did I heard, how did I felt, how did I saw? So for me, when I provide an evaluation, I don't get into this conflict between advising them or even make something wrong to them. There is a nicer way to do that, because I have been put into such a kind of environment many a times in many of the club meetings. I would always start with the intent of the feedback, rather than saying that you could have stood straight while delivering that very strong message. This can be replaced with, it will be a nicer way to deliver a message on being firm, which can make more impact and everlasting memories. It's more about a wordplay, rather than a wordplay. Before comes is the intent. When you clarify the intent beforehand, rather than putting it as a question to the speaker, I'm sure that even the toughest one, the toughest nut can be cracked.
That's perfect. We want to assure, I will come up with the next question. Before the previous, just take, have your take on this.
Yeah. So my take on this is empathy, right? So the fine line is there in empathy. So we should make the speaker feel that I have also been through the same thing before, and this is how I overcame it, right? So that is the key here. Because every speaker, when they come to the stage for the first time, invariably everyone has stumbled. And that is the first thing that we should tell the speaker. When I gave my first table topic, I couldn't even utter a word, right? So that makes the speaker feel comfortable. Okay, everyone goes through this phase, and I will also cross this point at some point.
So we have takeaway of empathy over here, and also how to easily grab the wordplay and the language concept. So my next question is, why do you think evaluation is so important that it warrants a contest as an evaluation speaker? So I basically feel like say, as an evaluation contest, what do you know? And I had this very interesting conversation with Ashok, and he started talking about mindfulness, listening to an appear, started talking like this.
Yeah.
So let us hear more from him.
Yeah. So Toastmaster International is an international organization. So whichever country I go, I make it a point to visit the local club. And one thing that I found in almost all the clubs is the three sections are common throughout the world, regardless of which country it is, which language the club speaks. There are Chinese clubs, there are local language clubs. So every club says that the third section is called a learning section. We never say that it's an evaluation section, because we don't have the time to make all the mistakes. So we have to learn from others. So that is one thing that I found very unique about evaluation, and that is the thing that makes or breaks a good club. So if you want to join a club, just observe, go to 3 or 4 clubs in the city, observe how evaluations are delivered. And because that is what is going to make a change in you. Because if you get a good evaluation, you will improve, and then next speech will be better, right? And that is the thing which warrants a contest, right? Because that is the reason why we have evaluation contest. And as Satish pointed out, this role called master evaluation is very unique for Meraki, right? I don't think any other club has it, or maybe they have it and I don't know. The reason in master evaluation, every master evaluation is a step towards the contest, right? We are preparing. So today when Hema delivers a speech, there will be a master evaluator who will tell what can be better, right? And the same evaluation will be delivered in a much polished way next time. And every meeting in Meraki is a preparation towards the evaluation speech contest.
So, a point that I want to add to the resolutions and issues. As a contestant, you
evaluation contestant, what have you done, and why should people over here who have just joined and participate in the contest?
Okay. As we already pointed about the duration of the evaluation, right? We said 2 to 3 minutes. As I started doing evaluations, I had this ability of doing 4 minutes, 5 minutes, 6 minutes. Preparing a club level speech and representing it even a club level, the first and foremost thing is in a club level, when you overshoot the timing, what will happen? Nothing happens. You don't get a ribbon, that's it. Or eligibility for a ribbon. But in a contest, if you overshoot more than 3 minutes, 30 seconds, you will not be eligible for any level in the ballot. So number one, giving a feedback precisely within the timeline in a contest environment is really, really challenging. Even you go and deliver a prepared speech is something, everybody has their different take. But for me, when we go and stand in those waiting rooms, you are 8th evaluator out of the 8 speakers in the club area or at division level. Being in that waiting room is something it's phenomenal. That gives you both the positivity as well as your butterflies under the stomach. So the learning I would say from the contest is how fast I can recap my ideas. Because in contest environment, we get a pad, we write it for 7 minutes of speech I'll write. I don't wait for the 5 minutes starting time. Again 5 minutes I'll write, I'll give the notes back to them. Even if you are a second speaker or 8th speaker, you only have this thing in mind. So the contest helps me to concise my evaluation. If I am the second evaluator in the contest, I would have delivered my own prepared one with the content I took it from the speaker. If I would have been a 6th or 7th evaluator in the contest, I would have refined them in the way how I delivered. So contest, I would say, has polished me on delivering the same content in a much precise way, also to the relevance. One thing, if you ask me, I learned it from contest was I'm not big fan of acronyms. I always, even it has been up or down, I always believe this simple 3-rule formula in Toastmasters, which helped me evolve so far. Maybe sometimes it will help, but simply when we talk about the thing you liked, the thing you want to improve, summarize it. Over and again, if you keep doing it, I see that's the final of it. So for me, the simplicity and the concise way of providing evaluation, I polished it through the evaluation preparation.
So which brings us to the last question before we move on to rapid fire and close the forum open for questions from the audience. So, what is your takeaway? How did you apply the techniques that you learned in evaluation in your life? How has it changed? A very quick answer from you.
Me personally, it improved my listening skills, right? Because you have to have a rapt attention on the speaker in that 5 to 7 minutes, right? You have to take notes. You have to be very good in taking notes and also listening to the speaker at the same time. That skill was very valuable to me when I attend meetings at office, right? When I attend meetings at office, we used to listen and then take notes and then summarize also at the end, which no AI can do it. Though AI can does it, but that's something that only human beings can do.
So for me, I'll put it very simple. That I would say it's a transformation for me. 2018, we did one workshop in Meraki for the evaluation speech contest. That was a peak of a time. So people say that even the simplest or smallest learning can change your life in a bigger way. That was the workshop I learned the usage of using rather than saying no and but. How do we say yes and and? No but with yes and I. Replacing no and but in place of that yes and. So when I was negotiating one of the biggest opportunity for me, I am moving away from Chennai to Mumbai and everything happening. I was in a tough situation to accept it or not. The conversation was going on. The offer was given. I suddenly got some nudge for improving something on remuneration, on title and everything. I learned it in such a way that rather than saying no, on the face of the recruiter, I said, thank you so much. Yes, I am looking forward to join as soon as possible. And I need this 1, 2, 3 help. I said, I need more money. I need more joining allowances. I need a designation price. Rather than saying no, the moment I said yes and looking forward the date to join, half of the job is done. So this is not something a random group. It was part of one of the workshop when Sasta was doing this evaluation speech contest. We said, how do you replace this no and but with yes and and? I replace it personally for me. From there to today, it's a huge transformation, I would say, on my career and a whole lot on Meraki.
Thanks for the amazing session. So a quick summary of the key points. So basically we have listened to the value of listening, enhancing of listening skills, and summarizing and possibly using and also the importance of us joining the contest, because in a very brief period of time we have to be politically correct in addressing the group of people, still giving feedbacks to the speakers to improve. So those are the key takeaways that we have had from the panel discussion. Now a very quick rapid fire round before we draw the forum open to the audience. As an evaluator, style or substance?
Substance.
Substance.
As a evaluator, physical movement, eye contact.
Eye contact.
As a club evaluator, adherence to the pathway, personal goals. Pathway objectives.
Objectives.
On stage, pathways. Off stage, help them with the personal goals.
Okay. One-on-one evaluation. These are the politically correct open evaluation in the club.
Honest evaluation. Honest.
Club means open.
Okay. On the contest stage, being politically correct or being fair?
Honesty is always the key. If you put it in a positive way, period. Honesty.
The last question. Wordplay versus straightforward evaluation.
Wordplay helps remember the evaluation. So I go for wordplay.
So that brings us to the end of the rapid fire round, and the forum is open to the audience. Please to pose your questions. We can take 3 questions.
Question to Mr. Ashok. I have seen you many times using metaphors in your speech evaluations. Do you think of metaphors on the spot, or you come prepared with some kind of metaphor to be used in your evaluation?
Mostly it will be on the spot, especially I take cue from what the speaker is delivering, and if there is a word that helps me connect to a metaphor, I use that.
The recent Discover 24 which happened, that world class speaker who came, I forgot his name, he was telling, when he was talking about evaluation, he was telling his opinion, honest opinion is received and paid. Don't take it so seriously. What is your opinion? Both of you.
No, honest opinion is take it and leave it. It is his take. You know, we are only talking about how do I bring a change for a speaker who delivers a speech. In an evaluation contest, we spoke about it in terms of a general education session or a kind of a keynote basis. So if I take the speaker, that's what we are keep telling honesty, why we say is, can I give a positive trend of the evaluation, even if it is toughest one for a speaker, if we can give something how to do rather than just what is wrong, that's more than enough. More than saying what is wrong, how to do part is something we always keep exploring. How can it be made better rather than saying you are bad at this? Maybe that will help.
I was not there at that conference, but in my opinion, we should take it and incorporate it in the next speech. I don't know in what context he mentioned we will say discuss.
Probably I feel because many times I have observed people listening to the evaluation, but not putting it across.
Right.
That's
Not
the-
incorporating
not
that.
incorporating, implementing it. Probably that's the
It only delays the self improvement.
Correct. Thank you, thank you.
This every contestant will give some recommendation, and summary. How should I differ from fellow contestants, or how should they give some effective evaluation during 3 minutes?
So one thing I keep doing is maybe the output of what I say might be the same, but the way how it is being presented. So one thing I keep doing is reading, not just about random book. It's more about how this world champions are making some sessions, or how this different district evaluation runners or winners, or how they are propagating it. There are umpteen documents available online. So I pick up, predominantly I pick up the world champion speech dissecting document. I try and see that how do I incorporate it. One of the learning I learned from there and used in one of the club evaluation also on Sundar's humorous speech. How many humor count can be there? What is the ratio of the humor? There are niche things available, or I would say one of them I use very often is about tying up the loose end, which is nothing but how do you connect from opening to end.
Right.
Rather than putting simply your opening doesn't connect with the end, we will phrase it with a kind of a word play. So I read a lot. That's how it helps me to look like little new every other time we deliver, rather than even the intent or the outcome would be same, but the way how we put it might be new when we keep reading.
Thank you so much for an amazing, insightful discussion. There is a lot of takeaways for all of us. I hope that guests also had a lot of takeaways in addition to the Toastmasters. We framed questions in such a way. I want to end in a closing note, the importance of evaluation, right? When I was giving my speech, I remember DTM Vijay Lakshmi. She just told me that you have the speech and we were at a high, but this close was subject. If you can give us stronger close, we can always leave with a high, even on the close. So it basically made me feel like a world champion. Right? I feel any evaluation when it comes from the place of fact and feeling to do better, I think it really works. And that's what has been my takeaway from this particular panel.